the bit of information most brand teams need and that they don't have is what are the category entry points. The point to really emphasize if you're new to category entry points is you've just got to keep thinking of them as the link or the shortcut that's connecting a buying situation in your head to a brand that's in your head.
So let's look at buying situation again. So just give me an example of what a buying situation is and what a category entry point is and how those two things link.
So a buying situation might be chilling on a Friday afternoon, but what we're interested in is, well, what's the category entry point that links chilling on a Friday afternoon to, let's say, a lager brand?
Got it. Okay.
And so a brand that might be heavily associated with relaxation or outside on a sunny day will potentially be the way in which a buyer is linking a product to a buying situation.
Okay, great.
So you identify the category entry points, and then you start then to track the brand linkages to those category entry points.
And of course we track what those category entry points are through a piece of work first, which is through qualitative, where we go and talk to a number of category buyers who buy the category.
Yeah.
So it's always important to note that, you know, a lot of the times, especially in the marketing world, we talk about consumers, right? And we always get a little bit mixed up with what is a consumer and what is a buyer. But in our instance, we just passionately want to understand the person who puts that product into the basket.
Exactly.
That could be online, that could be offline, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But it's about the person who buys it, because whilst brands are influenced by children, by I've got a dog and he influences me on what he wants me to buy, but we're just passionate about it is the category buyers, person who is literally making that purchase. And I think that's always an important distinction that we have to get across to some of our customers every so often. But so we do a piece of qual work first, we identify the category entry points, we know that there is a hierarchy to those. Some of them are mentioned more frequently, some of them are mentioned less frequently. So just get into what that hierarchy of category entry points means.
The size of the brand will have an expected number of links to category entry points. And depending on that size of the brand, you can then calculate what you should have got versus what you actually got and identify the deviation. So you can know how many of the category entry points are you on par with, how many are you underperforming on, how many are you overperforming on. And because we're asking a whole cross-section of category buyers, multiple questions around category entry points and the links to the brand, more category entry points get mentioned over others. So you can start to rank the number that are linked in total. And then that gives you a sense of which are the most important category entry points. But when you do this type of research, you don't just get your result, you get to see the cross-section of the brands operating in the category. And what that does is often throws out white spaces you may not have expected to see.
Or white spaces that anyone's expected to see.
Exactly. And so, again, let's take lager, one of the most competitive FMCG categories you could find, with some amazing brands heavily invested in terms of media. You would think by now that there wasn't any room. I mean, lager came into the UK in the 60s. So we're 60 odd years on, there can't be any white spaces out there. But actually, we know that in the 18 to 34 sector, there's 3 white spaces, category entry points that anyone could get after, that no one at the moment has superiority on. And if you take the older group of over 35s, then actually there's 7 white spaces.